Headlines today, Budget 2023 to focus on economic recovery and sustainable growth. Efforts to speed up implementation of 5G infrastructure yields positive results. The proposed setting up of a special committee at the ASEAN level will be among the approaches to be discussed by the Cabinet at its meeting today to resolve the issue of Malaysians falling victims to job scams abroad. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department Special Functions, Datuk Dr. Abdul Latif Ahmad, said the government viewed seriously the matter and Prime Minister Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob had instructed him to look into the issue. Elaborating further on the matter, he said the issue requires the cooperation of all parties and it will be discussed at the Cabinet meeting today. According to Wisma Putra, as of Monday, 43 victims of job scams in Cambodia were rescued out of 158 reported cases. When questioned whether the government will restrict the movement of Malaysians to avoid more people becoming victims of job syndicates, Datuk Dr. Abdul Latif said the government has no right to do so. Meanwhile, the Malaysian Community Crime Care MCCC President Tan Sri Musa Hassan, who is a former Inspector General of Police, said he had been in contact with the police at the D3 Anti-Human Trafficking and Migrant Smuggling Division at Ipsum to obtain more information about the syndicate. He also expressed hope that the division would also be able to assist in the investigation and rescue the victims. Budget 2023, which will be presented in Parliament on 7th October, will continue to focus on strengthening the momentum of the country's economic recovery and generating sustainable growth in the long term. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Economy, Datuk Sri Mustafa Muhammad, in a statement said the Malaysian economy is on a solid track supported by resilient economic foundations, pragmatic policies and diversified economic structures. However, he noted that the management of the country's economy in 2022 is expected to be more challenging. The minister said the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund (IMF) have revised their global economic growth forecast to 3.2% for 2022 in July from 3.6% in April and 4.4% in January 2022. He went on to say that for 2023, the world economic growth forecast has been lowered from 3.8% in January 2022 to 2.9% in July 2022. Commenting on the growth of the national economy, Datuk Sri Mustafa said the gross domestic product GDP growth projection of Malaysia is expected to reach a target of between 5.3% and 6.3%. The Ministry of Human Resources (KSM) has proposed for additional funds from the Finance Ministry to secure the welfare of housewives under the Social Security Organisation (SOCSO) in Budget 2023. Its Minister Datuk Sri M. Saravanan said that the initiative was in line with Prime Minister Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob's aspiration for the ministry through SOCSO to provide a safety net for housewives to protect and safeguard the welfare of the group.
Ramai masa PKP menghadapi masalah apabila suami sebagai sole breadwinner tak ada pendapatan dan isteri menghadapi chronic diseases, dialysis dan sebagainya, tak ada bantuan, tak ada jaringan keselamatan. Maka dengan persetujuan Kementerian ini, Jemaah Menteri, kita akan melaksanakan jaringan keselamatan untuk 150,000 suri rumah tangga bagi tahun ini.
The minister said the proposed initiative was part of the ministry's efforts to focus on challenges faced globally, including Malaysia, in line with the development of the Industrial Revolution 4.0 (IR 4.0).
Kita perlu melahirkan modal insan yang kompeten dari segi digital talent. Maka lebih fokus kepada reskilling, upskilling dan cross.
Communications and Multimedia Minister Tan Sri Anwar Musa said the government's efforts to speed up the implementation of 5G infrastructure have shown positive results after almost a year of development of a single wholesale network SWN carried out by DNB. He said more than 2,100 5G sites have been operating, and as of August this year, 5G coverage has reached 33% in populated areas in 8 states as well as the federal territories of Kuala Lumpur and Putrajaya. Elaborating further on the matter, the minister said it is expected that the target of 36% coverage at the end of 2022 will be achieved and boost the ministry's confidence that the target of 80% coverage in populated areas at the end of 2024 can be realised. Tan Sri Anwar said the government under the Malaysia Digital My Digital initiative has decided that the implementation of 5G should be done through SWN and developed by DNB, adding that KCOM fully supports the policy. He said MCMC has given DNB the relevant licenses for a period of 10 years until 2031 and allocated specific 5G spectrum bands that have been identified, and only the specified spectrum is allowed for commercial 5G services by service providers. In dealing with the challenges of 5G implementation, he said KCOM through MCMC and also DNB had actively held engagement sessions with state authorities, local governments and relevant stakeholders. Malaysia and the United Arab Emirates UAE have agreed to further strengthen bilateral ties, especially in defence. Senior Defence Minister Datuk Seri Hishamuddin Tun Hussein, who is on an official visit to the UAE, said both countries agreed that this should be explored as best possible for the sake of driving the Malaysia-UAE defence cooperation to a higher level. In a statement released after holding a meeting with UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan yesterday, Datuk Seri Hishamuddin said Malaysia and UAEs will share experience and expertise in defence fields to further improve the safety of its people. In the meeting, they also discussed the need to increase understanding based on the values of unity and tolerance. Meanwhile, in a meeting with his UAE's counterpart, Muhammad Ahmad Al-Bawardi, Datuk Seri Hishamuddin said they came to several important agreements, including conducting joint bilateral training between the Malaysian Armed Forces and the UAE Armed Forces, involving the Malaysian and UAE armies. They have also agreed to increase the exchange and training of military officers between both armed forces and military-to-military engagement. The senior minister also extended an invitation to Muhammad Ahmad Al-Bawardi to attend the Langkawi International Maritime and Aerospace Lima, which is scheduled to be held from 23rd to 27th May 2023.
Why do we tell you stories?
Relevant,
New,
efficient,
accurate.
reliable. We bring you extraordinary stories from around the world, from politicians, bankers, and even your favorite celebrities. This and many more on RTM's English News.
Up next in our foreign segment, at least 9 killed in campaign accident in Brazil. Malaysian Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob will lead Malaysia's delegation to the 77th session of the United Nations General Assembly, 77th UNGA in New York. He will join world leaders from more than 150 countries who began gathering in the city since Tuesday after the pandemic COVID-19 forced them to address the annual assembly virtually for the past 2 years. Foreign Minister Datuk Seri Saifuddin Abdullah said the theme of the 77th session, a watershed moment, transformative solutions to interlocking challenges, was timely and allowed member states to tap multilateral platforms to address various issues facing the world.
Oleh kerana dunia masih dalam proses pemulihan daripada COVID-19, tentulah ini merupakan sebahagian daripada perkara yang akan ditekankan oleh beliau. Ini termasuklah soal bagaimana kita harus memulihkan ekonomi negara kita dan juga sebagai warga dunia penglibatan kita dalam perkara-perkara yang mustahak, sebahagiannya yang melibatkan kita juga seperti inflasi, food security dan sebagainya.
He said this to Malaysian media at the Office of Permanent Mission of Malaysia to the United Nations in New York on Tuesday. Datuk Sri Saifuddin said this will be the second appearance by the Prime Minister at the United Nations after attending virtually the 76th session last year due to the COVID-19 pandemic. According to Datuk Sri Saifuddin, the Prime Minister, who is scheduled to arrive on Thursday for a 3-day visit, would deliver Malaysia's national statement at the general debate on Friday in the Bahasa Melayu, which is his own initiative to promote the Malay language at the international stage, such as the United Nations.
South Korea staged a large-scale live-fire military demonstration on Tuesday as part of Defence Expo Korea DX Korea 2022 near the demilitarized zone separating the two Koreas. Military vehicles, tanks, armoured vehicles, multiple rocket launchers and attack helicopters were mobilised for the exercise at the Seongjin Fire Training Field in Pocheon.
The South Korean army held a large-scale exercise where different types of weapon systems were involved, including K2 tanks and K9 howitzers. Hundreds of troops were deployed as well. It is the largest live-fire maneuver exercise in 4 years. Tuesday's exercise was held in front of some 1,800 people, including South Korean officials and general officers from 25 different countries, as it was held a day ahead of a large defense exhibition in the country DX Korea. The expo opens today until Sunday at the Korea International Exhibition Centre, Kintex. 350 exhibitors will showcase various products and technology related to defense and security, such as weapons systems, unmanned systems, military equipment, and counter-terrorism, according to its website.
U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland and Ukraine's Prosecutor General Andriy Kostin signed a memorandum of understanding yesterday to facilitate the prosecution of alleged war crimes committed by Russia in Ukraine.
The MOU will allow us to work more expeditiously and efficiently in our respective investigations of war crimes. We know that the road ahead is neither short nor easy, but we and our Ukrainian partners will work tirelessly to pursue truth and justice. Our message is clear. There is no hiding place for the perpetrators of these atrocities.
The Kremlin on Monday rejected allegations that Russian forces had committed war crimes in Ukraine's Kharkiv province as a lie. Around 450 bodies, most of which Ukraine says are civilians, have been found in mass graves near Izium after Russian troops were this month forced out of the Kharkiv region. Russia previously rejected claims that its troops had committed war crimes in Bucha outside Kiev after evidence of civilians being killed while the town was controlled by Russian troops came to light after Russia's withdrawal at the end of March.
An armed man took a dozen hostages at a bank in Georgia's second-largest city of Kutaisi on Tuesday, demanding a large sum of money. The Black Sea nation's Interior Ministry said the suspect was holed up at a Bank of Georgia branch in the town of around 150,000 people in central Georgia.
The ministry, through a statement release, said police quickly deployed to the bank to resolve the crisis. It added an investigation was opened into an act of terror, hostage-taking and illegal possession of firearms. It was also confirmed that following a police operation, the would-be bank robber was arrested and all hostages freed unharmed. The incident took place in a branch of Bank of Georgia on Kutaisi's Shota Rustaveli Avenue. Kutaisi is Georgia's third most populous city and is located in the west of the country. In October 2020, a gunman took 43 people hostage in a Bank of Georgia branch in the western city of Zugidi. He freed all the hostages, escaping with an unspecified amount of cash, and was never detained.
An auditorium hosting a campaign event ahead of Brazil's upcoming elections partially collapsed on Tuesday, killing 9 people and injuring at least 31. The accident hit during a visit to a shipping container company in Sao Paulo, staged by candidates running for Congress and the state legislature.
According to officials, congregational candidate Eli Santos and state legislature candidate Jones Dozinet were among those injured in the accident in the Sao Paulo suburb of Itapecerica da Serra. Authorities have yet to release the names of the 4 men and 5 women who were killed in the tragic accident at the shipping container center in the municipality of Itapecerica da Serra. At least 3 people suffered serious injuries. There were 64 people in all in attendance at the time. At least 18 members of several first responder agencies participated in the rescue. All of the victims were accounted for as of 4 p.m. local time. The Itapecerica da Serra city government says that while the state environmental agency was in charge of issuing the premises operation permit, the facilities has been improperly altered. Brazil is due to hold federal and state elections on 2nd October.
2 people were killed and more than 3,000 buildings were damaged by a powerful 7.7 magnitude earthquake that struck Mexico on the anniversary of 2 devastating tremors, according to authorities on Tuesday. Civil Defense National Coordinator Laura Velasquez said a woman died of injuries caused by a falling wall in Manzanillo in the western state of Colima.
A man was killed by falling debris in a shopping center in the same city during Monday's earthquake, which caused buildings to shake and sway in Mexico City. President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador said it was lucky that the death toll was not higher. At least 26 people received hospital treatment in Michoacan, where authorities reported damage to 3,161 houses, as well as several dozen education and health centers. 9 people were injured in Colima, where more than 150 houses and other buildings were damaged. The earthquake struck less than an hour after millions of people in Mexico City participated in emergency drills on the anniversary of 2 previous disasters. On 19th September 1985, an 8.1 magnitude quake killed more than 10,000 people and destroyed hundreds of buildings. On the anniversary of that earthquake in 2017, a 7.1 quake left around 370 people dead, mainly in the capital. The timing of Monday's tremor was no more than a coincidence, according to the National Seismological Agency.
In sports, Johor women gunned down national 10-meter air pistol team record. Johor women shooters created a sensation en route to bagging the gold medal in the 10-meter air pistol team event in the 20th Malaysia Games Sukma at the National Shooting Range Subang yesterday. And they did it in style.
The trio of Nurul Shasha Nadia Muhammad Arifin, elder sister Nurul Heryani Arfida Muhammad Arifin and Mumtazah Shahidah Shamsuri scored 1,699 points to break the previous mark of 1,692 set by Nurul Shasha, Nurul Heryani and Khairul Nabiha Baharin at a meet 2 years ago. Selangor meanwhile took silver with 1,670 points, while the Federal Territory settled for bronze with 1,648 points. Commenting on their victory, Nurul Shasha 22 described it as a remarkable feat, adding that this would be her final appearance in Sukma. It was a day of double joy for national shooter Nurul Shasha, as she also won the individual gold, scoring 235.1 points ahead of Selangor's Dina Batricia Adi Azhar 232.0 points and Mumtazah Shahidah 209.5 points. Pahang's men, meanwhile, proved unstoppable in the individual and team categories of the 25-meter pistol and 50-meter rifle events. In the men's team 25-meter pistol event, Azrul Akmal Zulkifli, Muhammad Adib Abu Hassan Ashairi and Putra Muhammad Akram Idham Zunaidi collected 1,693 points to bag a goal ahead of Johor 1,650 points and Selangor 1,635 points. Azrul Akmal 568 points then bagged the men's individual 25-meter pistol gold with Muhammad Adib 565 points, taking silver, and Sarawak's Justin Jones Anak Kalukin 563 points, settling for the bronze.
Elsewhere, Kedah's track cycling queen Nurul Izzati Muhammad Asri lived up to her top billing by racing away with the 500-meter women's time trial gold in the Sukma cycling event at the National Velodrome.
The 19-year-old blazed the National Velodrome with an energetic ride to sweep past her opponents with a time of 35.545 seconds en route to beating riders from Pulau Pinang and Selangor and win her second cycling gold medal in 20th Sukma. Despite winning the gold medal, Nurul Izzah was not satisfied with her performance since she could not renew her personal best time of 3.500 seconds. Nurul Izzah, who will be competing in the team sprint event today, hopes to add another gold medal to her state and her personal collection. In the race yesterday, Nurul Aliana Shafika Azizan from Pulau Pinang clocked 36.618 seconds for the silver, while Nur Kadrina Emilia Nurzali from Selangor 36.928 seconds took the bronze. Meanwhile, Perak trio Ahmad Safwan Ahmad Nazri, Muhammad Zakwan Hamidon and Nazrul Hafidzi Muhammad Hafiz clocked 46.003 seconds to win the team sprint gold medal. Johor clocked 46.223 seconds through Amar Daniel Masri, Estikfai S. Zaham and Muhammad Ridwan Saharom for the silver, while Kedah trio Darwish Putra Muhammad Sanusi, Muhammad Faris Haikal Muhammad Kader and Umar Hasbullah took the bronze with a time of 46.934 seconds.
Johor Darul Takzim Football Club owner Tunku Ismail Sultan Ibrahim said he will not turn the Southern Tigers into a world football star retirement club, while refuting the claims of his intention to rope in former Arsenal star Mesut Ozil. The regent of Johor said this is to prevent the club from paying a large sum of reparation amount, as what happened before with some of its former import players.
However, Tunku Ismail did not reject the possibility of Papu Gomez donning the red and blue jersey in the upcoming season should the Argentine international state his interest and if the amount proposed is within reason. Tunku Ismail also said that JDT will only welcome players that can give their 100% commitment to the club so it can achieve something even bigger instead of chasing for popularity.
Malaysia bukan satu destinasi untuk mana-mana pemain nama besar datang. Kalau mereka nak gaji besar dan liga yang lebih hebat, mereka akan pergi di Jepun ataupun China, Arab Saudi, UAE boleh. Jadi kalau nak datang ke Malaysia, setakat untuk pencen dan dapat duit yang begitu banyak tetapi tak memberi 100% kepada pasukan, tak guna juga, membazir.
Former Ukraine captain and coach Andriy Shevchenko represented Poland skipper Robert Lewandowski, who has been a vocal supporter of Ukraine following Russia's military invasion of the country, with a special Ukraine armband in Warsaw ahead of FIFA World Cup.
The Barcelona striker met former Ukraine captain and coach Shevchenko at Warsaw's National Stadium to collect the armband, which he will wear in Qatar to symbolically represent Ukraine, who failed to qualify for the tournament. Lewandowski said he was proud to be given the armband, saying it was vital to support Poland's neighbours Ukraine in their struggle. A grateful Shevchenko then thanked Lewandowski, saying how important it will be to see the Polish captain wearing the armband when he takes the field in Poland's opening World Cup match against Mexico in Qatar on 22nd November. The former Chelsea and AC Milan striker Shevchenko, who played for Ukraine 111 times, scoring 48 goals and represented Dynamo Kiev before playing abroad, has been raising funds to rebuild his country following the invasion.
On to tennis. An emotional Roger Federer arrived in London with mixed feelings ahead of the final tournament of his career, the Labour Cup. Speaking on the tarmac after flying in, the Swiss said he was happy to be in London, although he was feeling the pressure of it being his last tournament.
I was very nervous packing up today, worried I was going to forget things, saying bye to the family, just managing the daily stuff there, and then thinking ahead of every day, what clothes do I need, and while I'm thinking about it, I know it's going to be highly emotional. Last moment here at practice there, I feel still a little bit stressed, but I'm happy I'm here. It puts me back into the mood of, okay, we're here to kind of work and enjoy it.
The 41-year-old, who won 20 Grand Slam single titles and redefined his sport with his artistry and grace, broke the news tennis fans across the world have long dreaded in a lengthy statement last week. His final tournament will see him play alongside three of his greatest rivals, Novak Djokovic, Rafa Nadal and Andy Murray, as they line up for Bjorn Borg's Team Europe against John McEnroe's Team World.
And that's it from us this afternoon. In our top story, Budget 2023 to focus on economic recovery and sustainable growth. News at 10 comes in this evening on My Preview's Berita RTM news channel. I'm Renee Fong. Thanks for watching. Have a pleasant afternoon.